Soon I'll make a video for all countries.
Beautiful, of course.
Urgent! A front has opened right on Russian territory. The Russians are whining everywhere. Here's the first insight. Ryazan has been cut off. A black day for Putin. Epic videos are being deleted from the internet. A brutal bloodbath has begun. A thermonuclear explosion followed by the liberation of Luhansk. Our forces stormed in and hit with all their might. The fire is literally mowing down the occupiers. Watch till the end to find out more about this. Hello, this is Ukraine Today. I'm Darina Hutsakalo, bringing you the latest events. At last, our forces succeeded. The Russians are now talking about a front line in Russia's Ryazan region.
So then...
Indeed, unknown drones are effectively cutting off Ryazan. It all started with the successful strike on one of Russia's largest oil refineries.
In Ryazan, after the drone attack, the oil refinery is on fire according to local residents.
Oof.
Now it's no longer a secret. Ukrainian forces have confirmed the information. A massive strike followed by a historic moment.
The Koshi's needle is being systematically targeted by Ukraine's defense forces. The Ryazan oil refinery processes 17.1 million tons per year. The visit was carried out by SBS drones, the 14th SBS Regiment, together with the Special Operations Forces, the main intelligence directorate, and other SOF components.
Meanwhile, Russia has started singing its sad song. The governor of the Ryazan region, Pavel Malkov, reported that Russian air defense allegedly shot down 8 drones over the region. He claims that the drone debris fell on the territory of an industrial facility, and the consequences are being dealt with.
Photo and video materials from Ryazan show that the strike hit the Lot 6 installation.
It seems that Russia's automotive greatness has finally come to an end. Without this installation, the so-called black gold can't go through the full processing cycle. What a mess.
Damage to or disabling of the installation effectively blocks the entire technological line, because the further operation of catalytic cracking, hydroprocessing, and the production of light petroleum products depends on it.
The whole area is covered in smoke. The situation is looking more and more like Armageddon with every passing minute. It was no exception for the Lipetsk region either. The local authorities raised the alarm as drones arrived and stirred things up.
Debris damaged part of a residential building and destroyed a utility structure. Drone fragments also fell on the yard of one of the private houses in Lipetsk. There is damage to the facade and broken windows. There are no dead or injured.
However, unlike the local authorities who are trying to cover up the massive destruction, public channels are reporting the strike. And it happened at a site of critical importance to Putin.
In Lipetsk, Lipetsk region, the NRI plant was likely attacked again. The consequences are being clarified.
Let us recall that not long ago, unknown drones had already shown this enterprise, supplying the Russian army with batteries as well as aviation and the navy, whose boss. At that time, the plant even had to halt operations. Last year, the Russians doubled their production volumes, but in an instant, they lost everything, including what seemed to be the restoration of their capacities. Now, that's definitely out of reach for them.
And we were driving. The air defense was working. It was working. It went off once. No, that wasn't for me. I was at the gas station and suddenly, boom. That is...
Nevertheless, the Russian terrorist Ministry of Defense reported the alleged downing of 92 drones, even showing footage of their supposed success. And not only on Russian territory, more precisely, on the front lines, as Russians have gotten used to saying, but also in the temporarily occupied territories of Ukraine. The main focus is on Luhansk.
Last night, the armed forces attempted to attack Luhansk using UAVs. At exactly 1:16 a.m., air defense forces shot down 7 enemy drones.
In Luhansk, there was a powerful strike on an oil facility. Our forces have set a course for the total elimination of the enemy.
Gasoline is becoming a scarce commodity, while kerosene and oil are burning up quickly.
The ATS organization reported that partisans helped carry out the strike on the Russian occupier's oil facility by leaking crucial information beforehand.
All the collected data has already been handed over to Ukraine's defense forces to enable a precise strike. This is the most important logistical hub through which the occupiers supply fuel to their offensive groups in the Kupiansk, Izium, and Kramatorsk directions, including units of the 41st and 20th Combined Arms Armies of the Russian Armed Forces.
Meanwhile, social media pages are abuzz. The fire is so intense that the flames can be seen from many kilometers away, and it is consuming everything.
I meticulously evaluated the situation yesterday, and after careful consideration, I was able to successfully persuade them.
Local residents also confirm that it has really started.
Someone somewhere you can get some, you only need 2 liters for the moped. Well, I'm interested somewhere around the bus station because apparently there are 3 gas stations.
The day before, the situation seemed to have normalized. There were no hints of any major problems. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian armed forces are showing something in the area of Prize. They will.
I hope this won't happen again and there won't be any problems with the gasoline. Dale.
Meanwhile, the Russians have even more reasons to worry. Ukrainian drone technologies have reached a new level. Now drones are capable of things the world couldn't even dream of. Russia has already crouched down and is frozen, waiting for a new strike. These aren't just combat birds, they're mega beasts in the sky. How the occupiers plan to defend themselves from them and whether any miracle will help the Kremlin at least hold out a bit longer and not fall to its knees. More on this in just a moment.
AI-powered drones have already entered the battlefield. On a new frontier of military operations, Ukraine is using technology that allows groups of drones to communicate and make decisions independently of their operator.
According to Western journalists, Ukraine is employing artificial intelligence in military operations so that groups of drones can coordinate their actions to attack well-defended Russian positions. Military experts claim that operations involving large and small groups of drones represent a new stage in the war. Such innovations make it possible to deploy dozens or even thousands of drones simultaneously to overcome any air defense systems, whether protecting a city or a specific military facility.
If they manage to scale up production and launch so-called swarm attacks, when a swarm is flying, it's clear that you can shoot down part of the swarm, but you can't shoot down all 100 drones flying at the same time. Well, in this case, of course, there will be very serious disruptions to the energy system, major disruptions to the transportation system, and the destruction of normal life will begin. We've actually seen this in aviation transport this year, and now we're seeing it in rail transport. It's impossible to install systems everywhere. This
innovative military technology is a significant harbinger of the future of modern warfare, analysts widely say. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian company that meticulously developed this truly unique and groundbreaking software is now lifting the veil of secrecy over what can be realistically expected from this crucial new military development. It turns out that a swarm of strike drones, like a living organism, analyzes what is happening in real time and makes decisions based on the situation.
The drones can decide which one will strike first and adapt to circumstances, for example, if one of them runs out of battery. Ukrainian soldiers began using this technology about a year ago for laying mines, and since then it has been used to strike Russian military equipment and infrastructure.
And it must be admitted, they are using it extremely effectively. In the Kremlin, just hearing the phrase drone swarm makes their knees tremble. Even the enemy admits that they simply have nothing to counter such advanced Ukrainian weaponry. By the way, if something goes wrong during such autonomous operations, the system immediately hands control over to a live operator. Fortunately, help is available. Another cutting-edge Ukrainian technology promises to assist in this, the Colibri 13 FR1. This is a so-called relay drone for FPV, featuring autonomous navigation and resistance to electronic warfare. It's an inexpensive alternative to the Chinese DJI, which is widely used on the front lines.
At the beginning of the Russian invasion, Russia was striking Ukraine with missiles and drones almost unopposed. Ukraine simply had nothing to respond with, practically nothing to strike back at Russian territory. But now, as they say, the situation has changed. Now Ukraine has drones that are taking out Russian industry. Ukraine has acquired long-range missiles, but as Putin says, the special military operation is going according to plan. Apparently, this is also part of the plan.
Every voice matters. Join our community, support independent journalism and help us bring you the truth from Ukraine. Become a member of Ukraine today. Join us now.
The new domestically produced UAV is not just a drone. It's an entire system that includes 2 carrier relays, a ground control station, and additional antennas. This approach makes it possible to ensure a stable communication channel at the tactical level. The drone's design is modular, allowing for quick replacement of damaged components right on the battlefield. Among the advantages of the Ukrainian model are its resistance to strong winds, low temperatures, and the ability to operate both during the day and at night. And
when they are taught to interact with each other, when they are trained to guide one another to targets or to cover each other, let's say like we see in those Chinese shows where drones perform beautiful maneuvers in the sky, the same thing will happen here. Only in war, of course, it will be sudden and quiet, and it's not clear how one could fight against it. If drones are taught to think, so to speak, and to make certain decisions on their own, especially if drones are taught to make decisions independently. What exactly?
How does the Kremlin respond? Instead of developing new types of air defense systems, Putin is putting all the efforts of the Russian defense industry into creating new and different methods of terror. In particular, they are actively improving their Shaheds, teaching them to strike residential buildings of peaceful Ukrainians as accurately as possible. This unpleasant news for us was shared the other day by a military radio technology specialist with the call sign Flash. According to him, Russian mopeds have recently become much more dangerous and deadly.
A fresh find just now, as you can see, antennas are installed on the edges of the wings. Unfortunately, unlike with the Giron drones, it's not possible to find the modems and cameras. They get smashed and burn up. For those who don't know, this is a new version of the Shahed drone, which can be controlled online from Russia, can conduct reconnaissance, and can even attack moving targets.
However, it's worth acknowledging that the Ukrainian defense industry began working on improving Ukraine's air defense system long before this. By staying ahead of the enemy, our engineers are already actively developing our own version of the HIMARS system. The foreign missile system has proven its effectiveness on the battlefield, demonstrating high accuracy and the ability to operate at long distances. This is exactly what we need for Ukraine. Our own version of American weaponry not only means reducing dependence on Allied supplies, but also the ability to adapt the system to modern warfare conditions and the specific nature of combat operations. For now, the technical specifications of the Ukrainian system have not been disclosed, but experts suggest that it is a wheeled platform with high mobility, capable of launching guided missiles at distances of hundreds of kilometers. So, it's about time for the occupiers to start preparing for new surprises from the Ukrainian armed forces.
And that's not all. A new Ukrainian missile is also entering the scene, a true nightmare for Moscow. The new Neptune cuts through the sky and is ready to reach the enemy's capital without any obstacles. Another threat is also in flight, the Flamingo missile. It flies farther, hits harder, and rains down death without a hint of mercy. True panic has broken out among the Russian troops, fear and helplessness. Could these be the first blows of divine retribution that have shattered their illusions? The answer is coming up in just a moment.
It is heavier and has a longer range. The Ukrainian long-range Neptune is making itself heard loud and clear. This development has been known about since 2023. It was first showcased on Independence Day. On the official account of the state portal Zbroya, a video was released most likely demonstrating this very modernized development, which opens up new possibilities for the armed forces of Ukraine.
There is now the capability to strike deep into the territory of the Russian Federation from within Ukraine.
Because if the classic Neptune had a maximum range of 300 kilometers, this one potentially reaches 3 times farther. The stated range is up to 1,000 kilometers.
This means you can reach as far as the Baltic Sea, even St. Petersburg. Moscow definitely falls within the strike radius. Depending on where you launch it from within Ukraine and also the Caspian Sea, the Russian part of the Caspian.
By the way, the classic Neptune has already sunk one Moskva. And the long-range Neptune is twice as powerful.
The warhead weight will range somewhere between 325 and 455 kilograms. This missile is actually based on an anti-ship system that proved its effectiveness by sinking the cruiser Moskva. And it has been adapted accordingly for strikes against land targets.
So now within the range of the new missile are Russian oil refineries. Ammunition depots, logistics hubs, and air defense systems are also within reach. How many of these missiles are we producing and have they already been used? There is no exact information at the moment. But it is known for sure that the long-range Neptune is not our only long-range missile. There's also the Flamingo, which can fly even farther.
Its confirmed maximum range is 3,000 kilometers. Accuracy at such distances is up to 14 meters with a maximum speed of 900 kilometers per hour. It is capable of carrying a payload of 1,950 kilograms.
The Flamingo is being assembled here in secret workshops. The first models were a pinkish color, hence the name Birds. And these Ukrainian Flamingos could compete with global long-range counterparts. The missile has already been successfully tested. Currently, they produce 1 missile per day, but by October they plan to assemble 7 of these birds daily. This means the geography of our strikes will become broader.
Many military-industrial complex facilities of the Russian Federation are located deep within Russian territory. I'm talking even beyond the Urals. That's a job for the Flamingo. And I can even imagine that even the renowned environmental organization Greenpeace will not object to our advanced missile system, because the impressive Flamingo will undoubtedly reach its intended destination of Siberia.
Most likely will completely paralyze their aviation component then. I mean air transportation, both passenger and cargo, because we clearly understand that then there will be caviar delivery plans across all of Russia, not just by region.
Ukraine's missile program is ramping up. Of course, there isn't much information about our new developments, so that the results of their work are a surprise both for us and for the enemy, because that is what truly guarantees our security. Lada Tsimblenko, we are Ukraine Marathon United News.
What do you think will catch fire next on Russian territory after the visit of unknown drones? Share your thoughts in the comments, hit the like button, and stay updated on the main news. We are almost 460,000 subscribers strong. There's more to come. See you soon.